Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. WASCO is taking precautionary and stringent measures following illegal disposal of oil sludge at the WASCO treatment plant in Beauséjour. Communications Officer Sherry-Ann Gillard-Williams says WASCO will do all in its power to ensure that such a hazard does not reoccur.
What we have done following this incident and to sort of ensure that it does not happen again is that we have put measures in place to beef up our security, our surveillance and monitoring. So as a result, any trucker coming into the facility to make deposits would have to sign a declaration form which would indicate what exactly they are carrying, and of course they would have to identify themselves and so on. In addition to that, we are also going to establish and put in place several cameras in the area so that we can know for sure and we can identify the times, the individuals, and what exactly is being deposited into our sludge pits. Of course, we understand the implications that such an activity can have on the environment, can have on the health of our citizens, and we want to do everything in our power to ensure that all of the regulations are adhered to and that no one individual is allowed to do anything that would endanger or compromise the environment or the health of the residents in the Beauséjour area.
That was WASCO's Senior Communications Officer Sherry-Ann Gillard-Williams. Two members of the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party have admonished the island's Prime Minister Alan Chasney for not taking hold of the reins and taking disciplinary action against Minister Guy Joseph. This came in light of Joseph's alleged involvement in the ongoing Pajoa letter saga. The Prime Minister's inaction, according to the Castries South MP Dr. Ernest Hilaire, exhibits a failure as a leader.
On Tuesday, May 27, 2019, the Prime Minister was a guest on Andres Paul's What Makes Me Mad talk show. And when asked if the Pajoa letter had not been signed by Guy Joseph, could that not be seen as a major breach of national security? In response, the Prime Minister stated, and I want you to listen carefully, and I quote, "Wouldn't be the first. Sadly, I mean, we had Ernest Hilaire that is going to be taken up in the House that was trying to introduce a document that had somebody's signature on it. And the document that he had is a false document. I am saying that publicly. All right? So the document that he presented to the House had the signatures page of the original document, but it did not have the body of it. Same issue."
During the Thursday press conference, Dr. Hilaire said admitting to knowing about actions such as forging documents is an embarrassment.
It is a major failing for a Prime Minister to announce publicly that there are persons out there forging documents and signatures of government officials and ministers, yet do nothing about it. That does not sound right and sensible. Prime Minister, act up. You are in power. Investigate the Pajoa letter and the so-called Don Lockerbie contract. Prime Minister, take note. You have taken this matter to a new level, and we will not let it rest. We will be relentless in seeking the truth relating to the Pajoa letter and the Lockerbie contract.
Dr. Hilaire says not only does the PM's comment demonstrate his inability to keep his ministers in check, but he yet again made a reckless statement, something which he says has seemingly become a habit for the Prime Minister.
It therefore seems to me that the Prime Minister does not learn. He cannot seem to understand that as Prime Minister, he just cannot continue to mislead and lie. Some years ago, the Court of Appeal in the Tuxedo Villas appeal found that he was not a credible witness of the truth. The Prime Minister nevertheless says this matter will be taken up in the House. I am anxiously waiting, and I can assure you that he will be severely embarrassed. Publicly, the Prime Minister must, as the saying goes, must put up or shut up.
Bank of St. Lucia is bringing more convenience to customers with the launch of its first dual currency ATM at the Bureau de Change stationed at the Uwanora International Airport. Customers and visitors alike now have the option of withdrawing their funds in EC dollars or US currency. If you thought having a network of 28 cash dispensers and ATM machines around the island was a lot, Bank of St. Lucia has added one more. However, this one is a lot more special, with the ability to give users the option of withdrawing their funds either in EC or US dollars. Deputy Managing Director of the Bank of St. Lucia, Lyndon Arnold, says the introduction of the dual currency ATM is a first for the bank and the first for any bank in St. Lucia.
The bank prides itself has been an innovator in bringing to the market products that utilize technology. So we're very heavy in that because as banking progresses today, it is driven by technology, and we are certainly not left behind. So we continue to be innovative. We continue to look at what's available, how it can be used in our environment to satisfy, not only our millennials who are very technology driven and would like to bank anywhere, anytime, but also to the rest of our customers, who would like to come into the bank and utilize our service.
According to the branch manager, Martina Donnelly, the bank understands the needs of its customers, particularly those who travel a lot, and the convenience the dual currency service will provide.
We're very excited about having this ATM where we could serve our customers even better. So you could access our dual currency ATM with your local Bank of St. Lucia debit or credit card.
Bank of St. Lucia officials say that the introduction of the dual currency ATM at the Uwanora International Airport is the first of many exciting products and features utilizing modern technology that BOSL will be rolling out in the weeks and months ahead. This new service forms part of the ongoing efforts by the bank not only to enhance the convenient services available to customers, but also contributions towards enhancing the digital economy of St. Lucia. Every year, on the 31st of May, countries of the world come together to observe World No Tobacco Day. Annually, governments, the medical fraternity, civil society, and other stakeholders join forces to highlight the health risks and illnesses associated with smoking and the use of other tobacco products. The mandate to governments by the World Health Organization, WHO, is to adopt effective policies to reduce this habit. The theme and focus for World No Tobacco Day 2019 is tobacco and lung health. Smoking is the main cause of lung cancer worldwide. Smoking is also the leading cause of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a condition that causes breathing to become painful and difficult. The World Health Organization, WHO, has indicated that knowledge about how tobacco harms lungs is low among much of the public in some countries. Health Minister Mary Isaac says government has an indispensable role to play in protecting the health of the people of St. Lucia through tobacco control.
We at the Ministry of Health and Wellness are encouraging employers to create smoke-free workplaces, and we are also encouraging all our people not to smoke in public places, thereby reducing on the risk of exposing the public to second-hand smoke. It is required that those who supply tobacco products must ensure that there are proper warnings and graphics to explain the risks associated with smoke on the packaging.
The WHO encourages governments worldwide to protect people from the harms of tobacco through the creation of smoke-free public spaces, launching of effective anti-tobacco mass media campaigns, and to offer help for people who choose to quit tobacco. St. Lucia has advanced its commitment to meeting these objectives in keeping with the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, which it signed on to in 2006.
In keeping with the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, St. Lucia has advanced its commitment by empowering the Substance Abuse Secretariat and has taken other measures such as a draft amendment of the Public Health Act to protect persons from the harmful effects of tobacco. This amendment is on its way to be presented to the Cabinet for enactment later this year in Parliament. The accompanying public health tobacco control regulations will represent, when it is completed, a major step forward in discouraging smokers from smoking in public areas.
The minister says tobacco control is part of the overall health agenda to reduce non-communicable diseases, which cause 8 out of every 10 deaths on island.
We rely on the indisputable scientific evidence that confirms the lethal impact of tobacco consumption and exposure on the health of individuals, families, and communities. There is clear scientific evidence that prenatal exposure to tobacco smoke leads to adverse health and developmental conditions in children. The overall burden of increased respiratory illnesses, especially COPD, bronchitis, emphysema, asthma, as well as hypertension, heart attacks, strokes, and cancers affecting the mouth, tongue, throat, esophagus, pancreas, and liver, put a heavy cost to our health care. This is a cost we cannot afford to bear.
Activities for World No Tobacco Day will be held in Castries and Vieux Fort on the 31st of May. They will culminate with a health rally at the Derek Walcott Square and the park in Vieux Fort. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.